Lesson 2, Patterns of Development in Writing. Expectation. You will distinguish between and among patterns of the development in writing across disciplines specifically. Narration, definition, process analysis, problem and solution, description, cause and effect, comparison and contrast. Pretest. Direction. Match the patterns of development in column A with the phrases or signal words commonly associated with them in column B. Number 1, letter E is comparison and contrast in the same way, unlike comparison and contrast. Number 2, letter B, description refers to, it means that. B, meanwhile, before. Number 4, letter F, narration, adjacent to, in front of. Number 5, letter A, cause and effect, for the reason that, due to the fact. Looking back to your lesson. Question. Reflect on what you have learned in lesson 1. Why it is important to carefully select and organize information when you are writing. Answer is, it is important so that we'll be able to know every information synchronously and it is easy to understand. Brief introduction. As a writer, it is important to arrange your ideas in a text according to your purpose in writing. Are you narrating an event, showing cause and effect, defining a term, or comparing or contrasting items? Your purpose suggests a method of organization or logical arrangement known as the pattern of development. It could be a way of logically organizing the whole text or just an individual paragraph. Discussion. There are different patterns by which ideas are developed. Some of the major ones are discussed below. Number 1. Narration. Refers to the sequential telling of a story or recounting of a series of events. Number 2. Definition. Explains an idea, term, or phrase using distinguishing characteristics or synonyms. It is used to set working generalization that help control the meaning and scope of important terms or ideas. Number 3, description. Similar with narration for having many specific details, description emphasizes the senses by painting a picture of how something looks, sounds, smells, tastes, or feels. Description is often used to establish a mood or atmosphere. Number 4, comparison and contrast. Compares two things to highlight their subtle similarities and differences. The author's intent is to describe a connection between two things by showing their distinguishing and shared attributes. Sequence describes steps, events, process, or procedures. There are 3 types of sequence: steps, timeline, and cycle. Regardless of the type, the author is putting information in an order. Number 6, cause and effects shows the linkage of causation, how events are influenced or caused by another. Number 7, problem and solution. Divides the information into 2 main sections, one that describes a problem and one that describes a solution. Activities. Number 1, read additional notes on pattern of development or text structures in the following sites. Make sure to read the given sites and be ready for an online discussion facilitated by your teacher. Number 2, look at the text or paragraph from all newspapers or magazines that employ the patterns of development discussed. Provide one example for every pattern and label each one. Make a clipping and paste it on a separate sheet. Write a minimum of 1 paragraph employing each of the text structures. Discuss 1 pattern, 1 paragraph. Be guided by the following prompts: A. Narration. B. Definition. C. Description. D. Comparison and contrast. E. Sequence. F. Cause and effects. And letter G. Problem and solution. Check your understanding. Answer the following briefly and concisely on a separate sheet of paper. Why is it important for a student to learn how to comprehend and writing according to text structure pattern of development? So that they will improve their comprehension skills. This can help the readers locate and organize information in the text. Post-test. Answer the following briefly. Paper. Define each term. Okay, cause and effects, we know details why something happens. Classification, group items into their parts or types. Process explains how something happens or happened. Reservation describes what, when, an issue. Narration describes what, when, and where. Description details what something looks like. Definition explains something. Classification, division in group items. Compare and contrast tells how something is like other thing. Exemplification provides typical cases.